On behalf of the Dementia Society of Ottawa and Brantford County, welcome to our live webinar, Reflexology for Caregivers. Our speaker is Tracey Liebig, and we'll have a Q&A at the very end of this presentation. And if you have any questions, you can type it in the Q&A box or the chat box. And without further ado, I will turn over to Tracey. And welcome, Tracey.
Thank you very much, Hermaine. Thank you for having me. So my name is Tracey Liebig, as Hermaine said, and I have been a reflexologist with the Reflexology Association of Canada since 2017. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about wellness for caregivers and how reflexology can be helpful. I'd like you to think a little bit about the last time that you took some time for yourself to really just relax and get some time for yourself, some time to rest, and some time that was really dedicated to your well-being. And I'd like you to just think about, what did that look like for you? What do you like to do in order to bring rest and relaxation to your body and to your mind? Sorry, I forgot my little clicker here. So that's just the next slide. One thing that I need to think about myself as I get older is that as we age, we need to be advocates for our own health. So the older we get, the more we might need to do to try and stay healthy. And as we are an advocate for our own health, looking at all different types of natural complementary modalities can be really helpful. We are the key advocates for our own health, and modern medicine has given us the opportunity to live longer lives. And how can we ensure that those years of our lives that we live are more healthy? We need to look at many different ways of keeping ourselves healthy, and one of those complementary ways is through natural health techniques. So there are a number of different natural health or complementary modalities available. Reflexology is obviously one of them, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. But you can also think of things like massage therapy, chiropractors, supplements, vitamin supplements are very helpful, acupuncture, physiotherapy, and even essential oils can be a method of natural health help. So as caregivers, we often don't take good care of ourselves, right? So as a caregiver, it's really important that you do take care of yourself. As this quote says from the Alzheimer's Society website, your health is very, very important, and you don't want to ignore it. It's important that you continue to exercise, that you eat proper meals, that you make sure that you try and find ways to relax and get the rest and repair that your body desperately needs. So keeping regular appointments with your doctor, with your massage therapist, with your chiropractor, with your reflexology therapist are all very important. And when possible, taking breaks as caregivers is really, really critical to the caregiving journey. Trying to maintain your interests, your hobbies, keeping in touch with family and friends is all ways of taking good care of yourself, because in taking good care of yourself, you're better equipped to take care of your loved one who's living with dementia. So what is reflexology? This is what I've been doing for the last 4 years, is just really delving into the world of reflexology and how this can be helpful for people. So for those of you who have not had a reflexology treatment, reflexology is a natural healing therapy that's based on the principle that you have reflexes in your feet, hands, and ears that correspond to every part, gland, and organ of your body, and that when we apply application of pressure to these reflexes, reflexology relieves tension, it improves circulation, and helps to promote the natural function of related areas of the body. So as I talked about earlier, reflexology is one of those natural healing complementary modalities. Personally, I had my first reflexology session over 20 years ago, and it was a time where I really needed to have some hormonal balance done in my body, and I wasn't getting any great effects from the medicine that I was prescribed, or that was the medical doctors that were helping me. So on a nudging from my mother, believe it or not, I decided to embark on my first reflexology session, and I have never looked back since. So me personally, I've been taking reflexology sessions for over 20 years and have definitely seen the benefits to my overall health. Just to give you a little history of reflexology, it has dated back to over 5,500 years. This little pictorial graph that you see here was actually found in the tomb of an ancient Egyptian physician, and he's working on feet and hands of individuals. So it has been around a very, very long time. Dr. William Fitzgerald was the doctor who coined zone therapy, which is something that we do use in reflexology today. And he was from the United States and brought reflexology into the US and North America in the early 1900s. Eunice Ingham is known as the mother of reflexology. She traveled widely throughout the United States and did reflexology seminars for over 30 years and taught her method to thousands of people. And the Reflexology Association of Canada has been active in Canada for over 45 years. So it was established in 1976. So it's not a new therapy. It's a very, very old therapy, but it is one that is gaining momentum and definitely gaining support and recognition in the years that I've been practicing. So just want to look at some of the benefits of reflexology. So one of the key benefits for reflexology is that release of tension. During a reflexology session, your body releases endorphins, which are chemical messengers that are similar to morphine, and they produce a calming effect. We also see an improvement in circulation. Both cardiac and lymphatic circulation is improved through a reflexology session. And it helps us to normalize our body naturally without adverse side effects. So reflexology allows our body to respond quickly to internal and external changes in order to maintain a homeostatic state. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But I'm not sure if people are aware that on your feet, the bottoms of your feet, there are over 7,200 nerve endings, which have extensive interconnections through your spinal cord and brain to all areas of the body. So reflexology is very effective in reducing stress because it helps put the client into that homeostatic or parasympathetic mode in the nervous system. This state facilitates the body's ability to rebalance itself and do some internal natural healing, that rest and repair state that we all need all of the time. So regulating nerve impulses and alleviating blockages through reflexology allows those body systems to maintain that internal balance that is so important. Something that we don't think about really as well is the fact that our feet, for example, are under extreme pressure all of the time. So our feet are responsible for holding us up, for getting us up out of a chair, for carrying us everywhere that we go. And so there are often tensions and stress that our feet are under that we don't recognize. And when one has a reflexology session, we can help reduce the stress and pressure on your feet by applying pressure and application of pressure to those reflexes. This is an example of the foot and hand chart from the Reflexology Association of Canada. I am certified reflexologist in both foot and hand reflexology. I will be honest, feet are my passion, I guess you would say, an odd passion, my kids say, but because of those 7,200 nerve endings in the feet, I really feel that foot reflexology is optimum. However, there are times when foot reflexology is not possible, which is why I decided to take the hand reflexology course. And some people find great benefit from hand reflexology, especially when they have issues of carpal tunnel and arthritis in the hands. Currently, I'm not doing hand reflexology because of COVID, but it is something that is really helpful. But when you look at this chart, this is what I see when I'm looking at your feet. There are these maps that basically show us where all the parts, glands, and organ reflexes are on the bottoms of your feet. So your feet are a reflection of your body area and organs. And the physical image that is mapped out on the feet is done in a logical and anatomical pattern, which we follow a set specific pattern each time we do a reflexology session. So each foot or hand reflects the vertical half of the body. So for example, your right foot has a reflex for your liver, your left foot does not. Your left foot has a reflex for your spleen, your right foot does not, and the same in the corresponding hands. So why should one use reflexology to help minimize stress and anxiety? Well, for one, it can help you release tension that's associated with everyday life. And I think today, all of us are under a greater sense of stress and accumulated tension because of COVID. Reflexology helps to put the body in that state of rest and repair, which is so important for our body to get better and to heal itself. It helps to stimulate the release of endorphins, which are very important. And it is a natural therapy option. It's also non-invasive, so you just have to sit down and relax in a zero gravity chair or on a massage table. And if it's foot reflexology, you take off your socks. And if it's hand reflexology, you just have to roll up your sleeves. That's how non-invasive that it is. So reflexology is a means of stress relief and anxiety relief. It has been proven that it is very effective for managing stress. So when a person suffers from stress from time to time, that's normal, right? We all have times of stress and anxiety. Reflexology helps provide patients with a clinically proven method to reduce stress and anxiety without the use of drugs or complementing the use of medication. So a lot of my clients are on medication for anxiety or depression, but find that reflexology can be more helpful to them and help augment the use of those medications. Stress and anxiety is a normal part of life, and everyone suffers from it now and again. An occasional manageable stress, is nothing to worry about. However, if we're under constant long-term stress, that takes a toll on the overall health of our body, and we need to do something to help manage that stress. And reflexology can be an important tool to help reduce stress and anxiety. Personally, I've seen clients on a regular basis, especially in the last 12 months when I've been able to be open and we're not in lockdown, that benefit so greatly from reflexology. And the method that I've found works most effective for clients is coming in for a reflexology session in condensed period of time. So coming for 5 to 6 reflexology sessions, either once a week or once every 2 weeks, in order to get their body back into that less anxious state and more rest and repair, and then go on to a maintain of that state after that on a monthly reflexology basis. And many of my clients have found that that is the best way to help them with their stress and anxiety. So how does reflexology actually promote relaxation? So as I said earlier, reflexology stimulates the endocrine system. And our endocrine glands are the glands that are responsible for releasing hormones into the bloodstream. And this allows the hormones to travel to cells in other parts of the body. And the endocrine hormones help us control our mood. They're helpful for growth and development. They help our organs work optimally. They are involved in our metabolism as well as in our reproduction. So the endocrine system regulates how much of each of these hormones are released, and through reflexology, it helps that endocrine system by stimulating it to be more effective. Touch and application of pressure to reflex points also stimulates the release of oxytocin. And oxytocin is critical because it helps our body do so many different things. First of all, the release of oxytocin reduces cardiovascular stress and improves immune function, 2 very important things. It also helps us develop a feeling of well-being. It helps induce a feeling of calm, which is also important for relaxation. It may help us build trust and new bonds with people. It reduces our cardiovascular stress, as I mentioned earlier, and improves our immune function. So stimulating the endocrine system through reflexology allows that oxytocin release, which has so many overall benefits for our body. As well, reflexology helps us to eliminate a buildup of toxins in the body because we work on all of the reflexes in the body, including kidney reflexes, our colon and bowel reflexes, that it helps to stimulate the release of toxins in the body through application of pressure of our elimination systems, which can help our body optimally function as well. It helps to decongest energy pathways for optimum nervous system function. It also encourages and improves blood flow to bodily organs, which helps them function better. And it obviously induces a state of relaxation, which makes our bodies much more calm and better to help themselves. The power of touch, I think, in this time of COVID where we're not able to touch people via hugs, even holding hands or connecting physically as much as we did prior to COVID, I think it's important to really recognize the power of touch and what it can do for us. And because reflexology is a positive touch therapy, this is important to note. So throughout our lives, we have a whole range of physiological and biochemical reactions that happen when we touch another person or when someone touches us. And this is particularly important when it comes to touching of skin. And this has been information that I found through Dr. Timothy Field, who is part of the Touch Research Institute in the University of Miami. He goes on to say that when you touch another person, you're stimulating pressure receptors, and those receptors are neurons that go to the vagus nerve. And our vagus nerve is important in a lot of our functions, but also in that rest and repair function, it's critical. The cortisol lowering effect that happens when someone gives us a hug, when we're having reflexology or massage, is very important, because when we reduce the cortisol in our body, which is a stress hormone, it helps us to reduce our blood pressure and reduce our heart rate. And that when we reduce cortisol, it also helps our immune system function more optimally. So definitely touch is important for our overall body function. Something else happens when we touch another person or another person touches us. Our levels of serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter that basically acts as the body's natural antidepressant and pain reliever, is increased. So touch helps us increase our levels of serotonin as well, which is a very important body response. So reflexology, because it involves skin-to-skin contact on the feet or the hands, is a touch therapy and has many positive effects, some of which are reduction of cortisol and increase of serotonin and oxytocin. So who can benefit from reflexology? Basically, it's for people of all ages, from infants to people who are 100 years of age. There are accommodations to treatment that are made based on certain conditions. So pressure and length of session may vary depending on a person's age and overall health. There is one contraindication that we are very won't treat, I guess, very concerned about, and that's a person who has thrombosis or deep vein thrombosis. Because we are moving the circulatory system and increasing and improving circulation, if a person has a blood clot or any type of thrombosis, we do not work on them because we don't want to dislodge that clot and have it move either to the heart or the brain, which would cause a stroke. But other than that, it's an excellent form of therapy for people of all ages. So obviously relaxation is the really key point of all reflexology sessions. And these are some pictures from my therapy room that I'm in currently. So it's important as a reflexologist that we set the stage. We want to set the stage for an environment that is full of relaxation and calm. So I do that by making sure that my office and setting is clean and free of clutter, that there's warm towels that I apply to people's feet before I start a reflexology session. I provide music that is calm and relaxing, and also offer to those who enjoy the scent of lavender some aromatherapy that's involved in the reflexology session. So really we want people to come in and to enjoy a state of relaxation that makes them think that they're on vacation for that hour. And people tell me that when they leave here, they're in a much more relaxed state and often just want to go and have a nap or relax at home. So what can you expect in a reflexology therapy session? Every new client has to complete a medical history that allows us to gain some insight into what some of your health issues might be, so that we are conscious of that when we're working on those reflexes in your feet, hands, or ears. And the client is in a relaxing, comfortable position with a cushion to elevate their feet. I personally use a zero gravity chair. Some reflexologists use a massage table. Your feet are refreshed with a warm cloth, and we do look at feet for overall health as well. And we always start with the right foot and work on the reflexes on the right foot and then move to the left foot. And each session lasts anywhere from 45 to 60 minutes from start to finish. Essentially, reflexology helps balance the physical, mental, and emotional aspects of your entire body. It's a holistic approach. We believe that the body works together as a whole, so we never treat for just one specific condition because we always apply pressure to all of the reflexes of the body, those that are mapped out on your hands, feet, and ears. So it really is an overall holistic body therapy. I'd like to introduce you to something that is called functional reflex therapy, and I offer rainbow relaxation workshops. And this is really important for caregivers of loved ones with dementia because it can be a very helpful tool for those of you who have loved ones because it's something that I can teach you. It's a simple relaxation technique that you can use in your own home. So functional reflex therapy is a combination of relaxation techniques that are drawn from reflexology, and it's designed to empower those who support loved ones living with complex needs that affect the brain. So it can be helpful for so many different complex needs people. So those are people who might be suffering from high levels of anxiety and stress, which today actually can be a lot of different folks in our environment because COVID has taken a huge toll on all of us. It's for folks who have underlying mental health conditions, for people with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia, for people who live on the autism spectrum disorder, brain injury survivors, as well as children who have complex educational and special needs. And so this functional reflex therapy was developed by Lorraine Senior, who is a colleague of mine out of the UK, and you can look up her information on the website that's provided there. And Lorraine worked as an educator in special needs schools in the UK and was also a reflexologist part-time and developed this rainbow relaxation workshop. As I said, it's a workshop that would provide you with the tools to deliver 15 to 20 minute relaxation session that provides positive touch to your loved one. It's based on the principles of reflexology, and you'd be equipped to offer this routine in your home to your loved one if they're living in a long-term care facility or in a retirement home. And it would give you an opportunity to provide some rest and relaxation to your loved one. It's a workshop that can be done in a group format when COVID restrictions are not in place. But currently, once the lockdown is over, I do provide this workshop one-to-one basis or on a bubble cohort basis. So 2 people who are living in the same cohort, and something that you can learn a little bit more about by going to Lorraine's website or to my website. So if you have any questions, please feel free to throw them into the chat box. I would like to thank you for your time today, and I hope that you've learned a little bit about reflexology. You can reach me via email, via text at 613-612-8363, and you can visit my website for more information at wellnessfromthegroundup.ca. Thanks again.
Thank you, Tracey, for this very informative webinar. So if anyone has a question for Tracey, so you can type it in the Q&A box, which is one of the little bubbles that are at the bottom of the screen, or even you can also chat or send us a question on Facebook Live as well. Okay. All right, so it seems that we don't have any question. Okay, well, thank you very much, Tracey, and just to remind you that we also have on May 13th, the Caregivers Self-Help Experience using Reflexology. Is going to be with our speaker today, Tracey. So I don't know, Tracey, if you want to just also tell people about this upcoming workshop.
Oh, yes. So I'll be doing a self-help technique on the hands using the principles of functional reflex therapy, actually, from the rainbow relaxation method. So I'll walk people through a session that they can work on themselves.
Oh, wait a minute. We do have some questions here from some clients. So is Reflexology covered by insurance?
Some insurance companies do cover reflexology. It's something that you have to look into your plan and ask the question whether or not there's coverage. It tends to be hit and miss. We are still working towards becoming more active in these insurance companies. It really depends on your level of insurance coverage, whether or not it's covered. So I encourage you to ask your insurance company. I know Green Life is one company that does provide coverage for sure.
Okay, another question here. Would it help get through a total hip surgery?
So reflexology does help people recover from surgery. I do have patients who have hip and knee replacements, and they find that reflexology helps them with their mobility, because we do spend a little bit more time on those reflex points when I'm working on them. If the person's just post-operative, it's encourage them to wait until they're able to be more mobile and have mobility in that leg, and then I would be definitely able to help them with the recovery part of just through helping them apply pressure to those reflexes that can help reduce inflammation and swelling, and it helps with pain as well, reduction of pain.
Also, what is the cost of the workshop? So I'm assuming it's the workshop that you offer, or is the one that we're gonna? Okay.
Sorry. Yep. So the rainbow relaxation workshop, it depends on the setting and how many people are attending. So right now I have a rate, if it's a personal, it's about a 3.5-hour workshop, and you do go away with a package of information, as well as an actual backpack and tools in that backpack to be able to deliver that session easily. So a private session is $200. And if you have, there's a reduction of that if there's 2 people participating. It's $150 per 2 people. And then if and when we can do group sessions, it's even a little bit less than that from a group session perspective at this point.
Another question here. Do you make house calls?
I don't currently make house calls, unfortunately, due to COVID. It's easier for me to maintain a sanitary environment in my current office than driving between locations. There are times that I do make house calls and maybe doing that in the future once the COVID situation changes, but currently I do not.
There is an interesting question here. So if your client is being treated for athlete's foot, can you still treat them?
Athlete's foot, I would probably leave their sock on, just because it is a transmissible condition. So they can be treated, yes. Or the alternate is also working on their hands.
Alrighty, so, well, thank you again. And thank you all for tuning in. And a reminder, the Caregiver Self-Help Experience, we're using Reflexology with our today's speaker, Tracey Liebig, and she will be hosting the session on May 13th at 10:30 a.m. Also, a reminder: if you need a dementia care coach, or if you need more information about all the educational workshop that we offer at the Dementia Society, please go to our website, dementiahelp.ca, or you can also register for a weekly roundup. So have a good day, everyone, and thank you, Tracey.
Thank you very much for having me, Hermaine. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye now.
Bye now.